I know a lot of people will rush this type of part right here and just kind of start flicking it out real quick and fast, but the more intentional you make each step, the end result is going to look even more intentional. Yo, another vlog, guys. We got another tattoo. We got a back-to-back session, starting a leg. It's another Japanese piece, but you know, that means we got to do it a little different, add in the details, do it with the composition and all that. It's my client's first tattoo. He got in on a cancellation, which is super dope. He hopped on it, and now we're gonna fill up his leg. I ended up designing the whole outer leg. We're not gonna get to the whole thing, which kind of sucks, but he's down to come back soon and get it done, and I'm glad, because I don't want to leave him with just lower leg and stuff like that, but should be fun. A lot of detail, a lot of packing black, a lot of contrast, glowing stuff, and yeah, should be a good time. So I'm just getting a stencil together, gonna size it up, make him real comfortable. It's his first tattoo, it's his first experience, so we gotta give him a good one, guys. So let's check it out. Another day, another tattoo. So I'm making my marks right now for the stencil, but the only thing that I gotta look out for on this one is he has a muscular calf. So to get the Shinto shrine to sit right, I'm basically gonna have to center it right where I need to, and I need to be very careful about how I let this wrap so everything still looks like straight and stuff. Not too worried about it, but it's gonna be more of like a freestyle placement once I get the center line, and then I need to press it, and I need to start pressing this one first so I can get it right, and then I'll start pressing the rest of it. Sometimes legs be like that, you know? Been using Proton stencil stuff. This is more of a like thick, waxy, definitely not like stencil stuff where it's like more watery. This is like very sticky, which I kind of like because it really grabs onto the stencil, and it really helps when you're doing the larger stencils because you really need, like, if you press it, it needs to like really catch it as opposed to just like coming off because it's too wet. So this helps a lot. I've been using Proton. Woke up this morning early, had to basically redesign because we wanted to make some changes in the design, but wasn't too hard. You know, I did my normal morning routine, breath work, meditated outside before the sun came up, designed, got a workout in my backyard, ate some good food, and I came in and I stenciled up the piece. So far the momentum is already going. We haven't even started the piece yet. That's why it's important to have a good morning routine when you have, especially when you're doing these large projects that take all day. You really need to get yourself right before you come in, otherwise you're gonna burn out. I was really focusing on is like making sure that each of these posts stayed straight, and then this part of the Shinto shrine straight across, which sometimes it tends to skew if there's like a bulge on the leg, but I think we got it pretty fucking on point. And really all I did was I was just trying to like stretch each side to make sure it was appropriately laying the way it was supposed to, and then I just was very intentional about how I pressed it, and then I did this side, pressed it, and made sure everything stayed relatively the way it's supposed to. I know I'm gonna hear in the comments about these lines in here, but that I need to clean my stencil printer, but I came in this morning and they started making these lines, and I just wanted to get the stencil on, so it doesn't bug me at all, but I'm definitely going to clean it. Don't worry about it. My next video, next vlog, I'm gonna screwdriver that bitch open and I'm gonna clean it. Don't worry. But for now, this is totally fine. I think this spot is super dope. This spot is exactly where I needed it to be. Probably not gonna stencil on the top part right now. If we end up getting through enough today and then we have some time tomorrow, we'll do some of the upper part, but I'm gonna focus on all the detail down here because there's actually a lot of little detail on the bottom part. So that's it, baby. Flames go back to the back. This fades out here. So I didn't do the top part yet, obviously, but I knew that this is about where it stopped at. I made it as big as I could to wrap towards the back of the calf and the front of the calf, and then we went all the way down to the ankle bone, and we're gonna get up to here. This is where the sword starts.
Cool.
Yeah, and so I think it'll be a really dope start.
Yeah, it looks great.
Yeah, it looks sick. It's pretty centered to the side of the leg, and then once we get the upper part on there, like I was telling them and stuff, if we get to a certain amount today and get a good amount done, if tomorrow I can, I'll stencil some of this sword on and start getting like this back chunk done and stuff like that. And then on the next session, we could worry about the actual samurai head.
Cool.
But we're just gonna go and see how much we get done, basically.
Sounds good.
Hell yeah, dude.
Do it.
Finished my setup at my station because our apprentice doesn't fully set me up. I don't know why. She'll set up my one machine, but then not the other, and then I gotta pour my ink. So it's not that bad, I don't mind it. She just doesn't know how to set up the critical, which is understandable. Slightly different process. Gotta wrap her up. Today should be fun. A lot of detail in this lower part because there's a lot of like rocky, bushy texture, and then there's a lot of texture in the armor of the actual samurai. But technically this is the scenery to the main part, which is the actual samurai head. So put a lot of detail into this, and then it'll be worth it. Keep the contrast high, make it pop a lot, and by the time we add the samurai, the whole piece will come together. It'll look really fucking cool. So I'm excited about it.
there for today. I'm gonna shade off of this flame here, get some of the shading around the Shinto shrine. I'm just finishing up the Shinto shrine right now. We ended up getting most of, if not all of the fucking lower leg done. So tomorrow what we're gonna do is we're gonna stencil on a chunk of the samurai and we're gonna just do a chunk of it. Like, why not? We have the time to do it, so we're gonna do it. And then when he comes back, we're gonna finish the whole thing. So we got a decent amount done today. We're almost done. Use the bathroom and stuff like that. Stretch out for a sec, and then we're gonna finish up for today. So
All right guys, so day one is wrapped up. We got pretty much the whole lower leg done. There's probably some stuff I'll go back into when it heals just because we have the time to do it. Tomorrow we're gonna work on the thigh. We're probably not gonna get the whole samurai in there, obviously. It's a lot of work, a lot of saturation, a lot of detail and stuff like that. But I feel like we got a decent amount done today. So I'm gonna go ahead and just stencil the whole thing on tomorrow and then just go until we call it, you know? I'll probably get a huge chunk of the upper leg done and it'll really get him excited about coming back for that next session. And we're gonna try to finish this one quick. He wants to come back and stuff, so I'm gonna find some days for him, get him in and stuff like that. But yeah, another dope Japanese piece. Day one went super smooth, super easy. Prep was easy and all that. Tomorrow there's no prep. We just gotta stencil on the rest real quick and then get to it, see how much we get done. So day one's in the books. Like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Let's send you over to day two. Two guys, here we are. We already stenciled on the thigh, the upper part. It went on first try, meant to be. And now we're just working our way, trying to connect the bottom to the top. We only got one day on this upper thigh, so we're not gonna be able to get the whole thing done. But I'm kind of just going with the flow, just kind of getting what I can in there with the time that we have allotted. I'm not gonna hold back, I'm gonna get as much done as I can, but there's definitely gonna be some that we have to do on the next session. So we'll see how today goes. Let's see how much done we can get today, and maybe I'll show you guys some specific tattooing on how I'm doing stuff. So another day, day two, baby. Up against if it's that big too. Like if it was coming out from the back of his head, you could do a planet hella big. It would just come out from behind here, but there's no like real spot for it to disappear from. I definitely think you could try to place one there and then get the rings to come across. Yeah, try that. I think that'd be cool. And then it would kind of help tie this into this side too, because the rings will go right over it.
You think I should just keep it here or make the ring come back here?
No, the ring definitely needs to come over there.
Come over
Yeah,
here, right?
it needs to go all the way over across. Let it come all the way over like that. Let it go underneath that and over the galaxy.
Go over the galaxy?
Mm-hmm. Just blast right over it.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, just let the ring come like right here.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And then just come across there. Doing a thick outline on the sword so I could help it stand apart from all the rest of the shit. I've been doing that lately, been adding a lot of thick outlines to stuff, just on certain stuff, only on busy pieces, stuff where you're trying to like help separate it from the background a lot and stuff. I really want this sword to come out in front and then the fire to be in front of that, the little streaky fire. So it's only right that I put a decent outline on this right here. Most of the outline's gonna disappear anyways because I'm gonna shade off of it pretty fucking dark, in some spots black, but it's still, when it heals, it's gonna help really hold strong and help separate from all the busyness around it and stuff. So that's what I'm working on right now. So I got the sword in there, I got the thick outline, started coming off it with some black and stuff. We actually got a bunch of armor texture to do on the back of the knee, which sounds super fun if you've ever gotten that tattooed. There's a reason I don't have that tattooed. So we're probably gonna knock that out because that's gonna really help make it all look full and tie it to the lower part. So I'm gonna spend my time doing that next. And we'll work our way up to the flowers and stuff, but so far, so good. By the time I get up to the flowers, I'm actually gonna show you guys how I tattoo these simple flowers and make them pop from the background, make them look white but still have some texture in them, have some detail and stuff. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I do that specifically, I'm going to explain everything and show you how to do it. Go ahead and go to our exclusive content and click subscribe. There you're going to learn a bunch of practical knowledge. I'm going to show you guys specifically how I do stuff. So if you want to see me do that, head over there, click subscribe.
one?
So we got 2 sizes here. I think this is one of the, this is the bigger one. The thumb's gonna fall right here. Or the smaller one.
Okay, I'd say a smaller one for that one. Do you have a different size for that one or no?
No, I was kind of leaning more towards this one. But what are you suggesting to put this here for it to land right here?
No, it's not. It's not that. The way the planet lands is good. It's just where are you just gonna fade that
I was
out?
thinking, yeah, I was just gonna fade this down.
I guess the only thing is like, let me see. Move your hand. I guess it's just a little weird because take it out, take it off. You have this fading in and then this fading in and then you got like the thing fading in and nothing's like really layering underneath anything.
Okay.
I don't know if you maybe could
Just do it off, maybe shorten it out.
either shorten it out or if you can make it look like it's going underneath this full shoulder somehow or like underneath that maybe.
Okay.
Just so you get some sort of layer in there
Okay.
instead of everything just fading.
That makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I get you.
But otherwise, I do like that size, and then the smaller size for the bottom one for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I think it works. Yeah. How do you do that? Yeah, I think so.
Put 2 right here. One's coming.
Is this one thick one or 2 thin ones?
2 thin ones.
Yeah, 2 thin ones. How do you do it?
Should I make it go under the ring and it's coming forward or over the ring?
How about you do one under, one over?
Okay.
But if you can curl it just a little more, because you don't want these two to touch, like this negative to this, it looks like it kind of does this almost. That kind of weird shape, it's kind of a tangent. So just curl it and just have it like end right over here. Yeah, just like, yeah, exactly, exactly.
Cool.
I'd say do this one over, the back one under.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got you.
You agree?
Yeah.
Yep.
Looks good.
Thank you.
Yep. Dope.
He's working on that back piece for Golden State. He's gonna try to take it. He was just trying to figure some stuff out because they did a huge chunk of the back that he had designed and stuff, but he didn't have the rest designed, so now he's kind of like piecing it together. And when you're piecing them together like that, it's okay on a back, but ideally you would have the whole thing designed because you don't want anything to look like an afterthought, which was what I was telling him. So once you start to like scramble and try to figure out how something fits, you start to try to fit things in these little pockets and you're trying to like make it look good and stuff, but then you end up making it look kind of like not intentional, especially not as intentional as the first part that you did. And when things look like afterthoughts, it just looks like you just scrambled to try to put something in there and then you just like tried something and you could kind of tell in the end result. So whatever we were picking, we're making sure that it looked like it was part of the original plan. So you guys are gonna learn all of that in the course. You're gonna make sure everything is super intentional, everything that you do has a plan, nothing's gonna be an afterthought, and when you show your clients your designs, you're gonna learn how to make sure you're creating something that's objectively good. Anybody's gonna look at it and they're gonna be like, wow, that's really good. It's because you understand how to break it down, you understand the principles, and that's what you're gonna learn in the course. So. All right, guys, I'm in the middle of a piece right now, but I wanted to stop and show you guys how I would tattoo these simple flowers. They're 2 cherry blossoms with some branches and some blooming blossoms coming off of them. I just wanted to show you step by step how I would tackle this to make them contrast and stand out while still having enough detail to hold its own weight. So let's get into it. All right, now that we got the lines in there, we're gonna go ahead and hit the background shading just so we can get the contrast first before we even touch the inside of the flower itself. Sometimes people get ahead of themselves and start shading the inside before they get the outside done, but you always wanna go with the darker shading first. And the darkest shading in this situation is the background. So let's get the contrast first, that way we know how dark or how light we should go on the inside shading. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and start doing. I'm using, because this is a bigger flower, bigger piece, it would vary based on the size of the flowers that you're doing, but I'm using a 23 mag quadrant, curved mag, and I'm using my critical torque 3.5 stroke, but even if you have like a wand packer, it's all the same, just make sure you're getting it in there good. We're gonna go ahead and go around the edge of this, mostly with black, some spots not black, it's okay. We're gonna start fading it out, and I'll just show you guys how to get this background shading in. So when you're getting these edges with this shading, you wanna make sure that A, you're stretching the skin really well, and B, you're focusing on getting the edge really clean and saturated. Start with the edge first. So a lot of times I'll run my machine sideways like this just to get the edge. As you can see there, I have a fairly clean edge already kind of saturated up there. And then once we have that edge, we can start to fade it out. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the edge around more of this flower before we start fading it out. Again, we're in black right now. Focusing on the edges being as sharp as possible. No holidays, no gaps from the shading to the line that we put down. Easiest way to do this is to focus on using that side of that needle right there, making sure it gets right up against there. That way you can get a soft fade out, because this is the reason why we use curved mags, because if I do this, as you can see, it already has this soft edge on this side. So even though I'm getting this sharp edge on this side, it's already helping me get it faded out, because the way that the needle is curved, it's not gonna allow it to be harsh edge on this side. So I'm going up against the edge at this angle right here, and it's already leaving a soft edge for me to come off of after I'm done doing that. Being on this part of the thigh, it's kind of softer tissue, it's thicker skin and all of that, so it's gonna act a little bit differently than if you were to be on a forearm. But that's why we just go slow, make sure it's saturating, make sure we're being very intentional about where that needle is hitting. Don't be scared to get that needle in there, especially when you're using a bigger mag like a 23. You need to have all those needles sink in for you to get a good saturation. If it's too shallow, it's gonna come out gray. All right, before we move on and start hitting the black around the rest of the stuff, I'm just gonna fade some of this black out now so I don't have to double back on it. I'm not gonna rinse my needle out, but I'm gonna dip into my full cap of dark gray wash. So the reason I'm not rinsing my needle out is I still need the shade to be dark so I can start to fade it out. But I want it to start getting a little lighter than the black itself. So by mixing between the caps, we can get that effect. And then it's more about hand pressure and how we flick at that point. So we're just gonna fade it out a little bit. Again, being on this thigh meat right here, you have to kind of work it and make sure you're getting the depth that you need. If you're working on like a forearm, it's definitely gonna be easier to get your even depth going and stuff like that, but super important to know what part of the skin that you're on so you can adjust accordingly. But what I'm doing right now is, even when you're doing these forward flicks like you see me doing, it's important to angle your needle, not going straight out like this, but angle your needle like this. Because what that's gonna do is it's gonna help fill in the gaps between the needles, because the needles are spaced out just a tad. And you're gonna get an easier and more saturated look if you were to go like this, as opposed to just going straight out like that. So for that spot, I'm gonna dip in a much lighter, I'm not rinsing my needle out still. I'm just gonna dip into some lighter gray so I could get a general fade out at this point, just to soften up the edge just a tad. Another technique you guys can use, depending on what spot you're at, you could use a backstroke shading, which is actually super useful when you're trying to get these fade outs, because when you're having your needle go forward, it's kind of jamming the needle into the skin as you move your pressure forward. But when you're doing a backstroke shading, it's nothing but a soft entry into the skin and then a soft outing. So it gives you a really soft effect. And you could even go slower and pull it out as far as you want, just like this. And you have no chance of having like a start mark or an end mark. So it helps a lot. So we're just going around the edge, make sure we get a good fade out. I know a lot of people will rush this type of part right here and just kind of start flicking it out real quick and fast, but the more intentional you make each step, the end result is going to look even more intentional.
We finished everything that we were gonna get done up. We're just gonna pop in a couple highlights here and there just to accentuate some edges and some details. I don't overdo it on the white because the contrast is already there and I don't really need it, but the little bits of highlights can just add that extra detail that really helps stand apart with the contrast and stuff. We did a little bit in the samurai at the bottom. I just did them in the samurai because I wanted it to stand apart from the background and stuff. And there's already so much contrast going on with the background. There's a lot of blurry and a lot of texture just to contrast the samurai. So a little bit of highlights in the samurai helps. And then over here, I'm going to do just a few highlights in the flowers themselves because they stand on top of everything else. It just helps accentuate that and make that more exaggerated. So, and there's a bunch of cool little dot type highlights that I'm about to do that really set it off. So I'll show you guys that right now if you want to check it out. Earlier, I had left a small gap in them. I basically just made like a C shape, leaving one of the ends kind of open. Just leaving just enough room for a dot of white. That's what I mean about using the white sparingly and stuff. It's like we're not using a ton of it, but we're using it in a way that when it heals, it still holds its effect. Because a dot of white is gonna heal a lot better. Alright guys, so we just wrapped up our session, day 2. We got a lot of coverage done. Still have to do the samurai mask. We actually got a lot of fucking work done and it makes me really excited about finishing it. We just focused on the backside of the samurai with the sword and the flowers that kind of frame out the piece so it'll be easy to stencil on later on. But I'm super happy with it. It's his first tattoo and he sat really well. It was a lot to sit through. We did the back of the knee. We did a lot of spots that are kind of painful, but it's all gonna be worth it because by the next session, we have a whole outer leg sleeve. So yeah. We also filmed an entire video where I broke down how I actually tackled these bright detailed flowers to still keep them nice and vibrant but have enough detail in them for them to stand on their own. So if you want access to that full video from beginning to end, from lining, shading, solid black, highlights, the whole 9, you guys can subscribe to our exclusive content on YouTube. Go ahead and check that out. And there's plenty more videos that are gonna be like that. This is just the beginning. Also, when we go ahead and finish this piece up, I'm gonna do an entire video from beginning to end breaking down how I would tackle that samurai mask. So if you guys want to get the real value and you really want to elevate your game, get to the next level, go ahead and check out our subscriber only exclusive content on YouTube. Okay, wrapping up day 2. What a fun 2 days, man. That's a new client. It's his first tattoo. Super fun to do, man. Super cool guy. Decided to keep it going. You know the deal, guys. I really want you to like and comment. Definitely subscribe. let's try to get this channel booming. You know, I'm adding a lot of fucking value. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving. I'm gonna keep adding value. We're gonna keep dropping stuff, but we're also, more importantly, dropping the exclusive subscriber only content, which is gonna be even more value, a lot more in depth. So I want you guys to check that out. Jack just walked in the fucking building with a little Tiffany blue fucking bike. Oh, okay, never mind, I just looked at it. Also, the design course is dropping very soon. I know you guys have really been asking for it. I'm working on it, we're working on it. Don't think that we're like pausing it or anything like that. We're doing it right now. We're working on it. Over 10 hours worth of value in there, so it's gonna be super worth it. When that drops, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, exclusive content, the fucking course is dropping, all that shit is dropping, and the vlogs are gonna keep going, and we're just working hard to give you guys value. So if you like what's going on, comment, let us know what you wanna see, let us know if you like it. Like, comment, subscribe so we know you're supporting, and you know what it is, baby. We're gonna see you on the next vlog.